keep it coming. I see Precious from Lagos, Nigeria. Christabel from Lagos. Moses from Lagos. A lot of people are from Lagos. I see a couple from the United Kingdom. I want to believe, I don't want to jump to conclusion. I think it's England, could Scotland, could be Wales. But yes, a lot of Lagosians. That means it will even be good or more interactive if we have a from Lagos, Moses from Lagos. If we have a physical session here in Lagos, how many of you would attend? But it's going to be limited slots. A physical session, wisdom class session, more like a 5-hour session on personal development. Pick some areas. How many of you would love to attend a physical session? It's going to be minimum of 5 hours. Minimum of 5 hours. How many of you would love to attend such session? And it's going to be paid for, but the payment is just resource material. It's going to be paid for resource material and for some of the speakers. I will not be doing it alone. And they will be able to teach you how. But the payment will be for commitment fee. I would love to attend. All right, great. Okay, I see people raising up their hand. That's beautiful. It's officially 8:10, and we would be starting right about now. Good evening, everyone. I want to officially welcome you to Wisdom class tonight. Our focus will be financial intelligence. And the reason why we're doing this, I'm sure I have students from University on the call, students from School of Wisdom on the call, discipleship, disciples here on the call, sons and daughters on the call, external people on the call. And I decided to do this session, or have this session, to help us have an understanding of some basic principles that the rich use, that the poor are not using. This means if there's some of the things that we discussed tonight are things you're already doing, you're rich. And then you might ask, but I'm not rich. It just simply means that there's an understanding or there's a budget cap to what you call rich. For some people, a billionaire is someone that is rich. For some people, somebody who has 10 million is rich. For some people, just $1,000 is rich. So rich is relative. And this is some of the mindsets that we are going to talk about tonight. Whatever is said tonight is not outrightly financial advice. It's not a professional financial advice when it comes to the area of investment. But we would share thoughts and areas we believe would be a good start for you. A previous session was held earlier in the year regarding budgeting, investment. You should do well to listen to it. It's a 2-hour-long session. It's still on my YouTube page. That's my daughter. It's totally free at the moment. So you can go there and check on my YouTube page, Yomi-Omolayo. One of the first series of Wisdom class, I think in the month of February, when we're looking at focusing on finance. So I have on the call tonight, Mr. Lekon GME, who is a financial market trader and a global economic analyst. He's a speaker and a trader. He's someone who has been teaching financial trading or market trading for a long time. And I will not be ignorant to take away his cred, let me put it like that. Unfortunately, or rather unfortunately, Ms. Omotolani will not be able to join us tonight at the moment because of an assignment. But that will mean that we'll have another session next week. That's part 2, because I wanted to speak on some investment opportunities and understanding your personality when it comes to investment. Because the truth is, money is a tool, and when you know how to use it, it will bring back the expected result. If you have a phone and you only use that phone for calls, say you have an iPhone 17 and you only use the iPhone 17 to make calls, is it serving its purpose? You're using it to make only calls. Is it serving its purpose? I want to say that phone is serving its purpose. You have an iPhone 17 at the moment. A person and a certain individual has an iPhone 17 and he only uses the phone to make calls. Would you say the person is making good use of that phone, or is using the phone, or the phone is serving its purpose? Sorry for the break in transmission. If you can hear me, please let me know. Can you hear me now? I'm not getting feedback. It means you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Great. So if someone has an iPhone 17, for example, and the person only uses the phone to make calls, the phone is serving its purpose, but it's not serving this purpose optimally. Whereas the phone in the hand of another person can be used to start a business, create content, edit videos that the person will post online and make money from it. The person can also use the phone to shoot short films and multitask and do some wonderful things, CPA marketing, and some other unique features that the phone gives its users to. Now, the both two individuals use the phone, but for two different reasons. But one will have higher results and benefit from using the phone. Why? Because they know what the phone can do and they are using it. Whereas the person who uses the phone to just call is also using it, but is not making an optimal use on it. Why am I saying this? The money in your hand, which you're using to eat, using to buy clothes, buy shoes, do this, do that, is serving its purpose, but is not serving its purpose ultimately. Because money is a tool, just like the phone is a tool. And just as the phone can become the god of an individual, where you wake up in the morning and the first thing you're looking for is your phone, you cannot do anything outside of your phone, the phone becomes a god, is very similar to what money can do in the life of an individual. If you do not see money as a tool, if you do not use money for what it's supposed to be used for, it can become a god in your life. And a verse in the scripture says you can serve God and mammon together. You will love one and leave the other. Because money is, as a tool, is very vast in its usage, that it can become a god in an individual's life. Now, many of us would not agree to the fact that our phones are gods or our idols, because you are really not, you don't see it like that. But the truth is, in its usage, in its form, and its importance in our lives, the phone is beginning to take that position of a god. And if you do not have adequate knowledge of how money can be used, you will lose it. Many people will teach that there are three things: it's making money, managing money, and multiplying money. Some school of thought to say those are the three foundational attributes to money, or let me say finance. Finance is the study of, if my knowledge is correct now, is not money alone. It's encompasses everything that has to do with the instrument of money. So investing happens to be about finance, bookkeeping, budgeting. All of these are under finance. And then the instrument of all of this is money. So imagine money alone. There's something that there's a topic called budgeting, and budgeting is talking about how to also manage money. There's something about investing. It speaks to the multiplication of the money. It's something about value, exchange of value, which is making the money. You see how the instrument itself or the tool itself, which is money, has a lot of variables under it. That's to show you the importance of money. And I'm sure there are many of you on this call who have spent time praying to God for financial resources to achieve a goal. I'm sure one way or the other you've prayed to God and said, Lord, I need this money for my school fees. I need this money for this goal. I need this money to do this. I need this money to do that. Whatever the case may be, you would have asked God one way or the other for money. And not for a greedy reason per se, but for something very important. And for myself, who I'm in ministry, money has some important usage. For example, I was talking to a church member today who has had to do a series of tests. Now, we've prayed for him, and I believe God for his healing almost immediately. Whereas at the same time, God in his infinite mercy has made medical, surgery, and drugs a blessing to everybody. I stand solely on the school of thought that every advancement in medicine is a result of God's mercy. Doctors are God's instruments to help believers. And there's a level of good there's a level of light that you have through the word of God that you begin to let go of some of the, I call it second-hand value of God's healing strategy, where you get to a point where you are living ultimately on the blessings of God. But at the same time, you notice that even in the area of health, there are principles you must follow. You cannot, and I think one day I'm going to call a medical expert or a nutritionist to come and talk to us about how to live a better life as relates to our health. And so 3 foundations of money under finance is making it, multiplying it, making, managing, and multiplying. Yes, it follows that order: making it, managing, and multiplying it. Now, I must be very clear to establish the foundation before our speaker takes us on the topic is to speak on today, and then we'll give room for questions. Never forget that money is a tool. It is not a destination. It is a tool that aids your destination. So if I'm to play with words, a destination, you can say destiny. Money, which is one of the tools you will need, will aid you in your path to destiny. Why did I say one of the tools? For example, diligence is one of the tools that will aid you in your path to destiny. Destiny means a destination that you're working to, we are going through. Because if you're not diligent and you have all the money, you will still lose it. And you will not even achieve your goal and your purpose on planet Earth. Wisdom class is based on the foundation of scripture, so I would be teaching a lot from scripture or speaking biblical principles to some of the focus that we'll be talking about, to some of the areas we're talking about, and today's finance. So I'm going to speak a lot on what the Bible is teaching, because I believe strongly that every principle of life is founded by the word, because the word itself is light. And it's from this light that we are able to expel darkness. And one of the areas of darkness we need to expel is the area of lack and poverty. And how God has provided light is through financial principles and financial intelligence. That's even from scripture. Let me give you one. You see in the book of Ecclesiastes, it says, cast your bread upon many waters. Some school of thought, permit me to say, has also seen that scripture as an advice to investment, saying you do not put all your eggs in one basket, because one important principle of financing, of investment, which our speaker will teach us a lot about next week, is you do not put all your eggs in one basket. You do not put all your eggs in one basket and you sit in a spoon. You say, cast your bread upon many waters. So making it, managing it, multiplying it is important. Now, I believe strongly that if you do not understand the process of managing money, you will not do so well in multiplying it. And making it would be a struggle because it will look like you are struggling over and over and over again. And it's on this note I would like to welcome our very only speaker for tonight, who will be talking to us about financial diligence. Because I know his story, and I don't know if he would want to share it tonight, but he has one of the reasons why I have him on this call is because of his living experience of everything he's going to teach tonight. By privilege of relationship and association, I got to know about some of the financial strides he's been able to achieve. And as a young man myself, I acknowledge the fact that it took financial discipline for him to achieve that. And that's why he's my go-to person when it comes to talking about financial discipline and budgeting. Without much ado, permit me to welcome Mr. Lekon, who will be taking us on a short discussion relating to financial discipline and budgeting. Mr. Lekon, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And thank you very much, Pastor. Thank you for the privilege and honor to be here tonight. I'm very, very grateful. And I did not take this for granted. All right. So, everyone, good evening. And thank you for joining Wisdom Class. Wisdom Class has been a great blessing to me personally. And I'm so honored to be here tonight to also share some few things with us. And as I truly believe, this is a family. And so we won't waste much time tonight and just to pass the message across and receive some feedback to be able to answer some questions as fast as possible. Right. All right. So this evening I'll be speaking on financial discipline, the pathway to financial stability. All right. Oh, I would love to share my slide now. All right. So I'll be sharing my slide with us now. Just let me know if you can see my slide. Let me know if you can see it now. Right.
Yes, we can, sir.
All right. Thank you
Put
very
it
much,
on.
sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. So tonight I'll be speaking on financial discipline and budgeting, the pathway to financial stability. Like Pastor said earlier, I will be willing to share my story tonight and it's going to help someone too. Like he has said. So it's going to help someone to also plan yourself and at the same time adjust to some things. I truly believe there is nothing impossible and there's also nothing new under heaven, just the way the scripture already said it. So what we are going to be sharing together is going to be an insight to some people, while to some other people is going to be your a call to do more. You're already on the path just for you to do more. While some other people is going to be more of a confirmation to you to know, okay, I'm on the right path, so I'm not just alone in this journey, right? And it's going to be full of insight. All right. So we trust God to grant us insight and divine understanding in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So financial discipline. But before I move forward, thank you very much, Pastor, for giving me that leverage as regarding budgeting. I'm going to, because of time, I would refer everyone to watch the first, I think is the first or the second session we had on in wisdom class about budgeting. The woman who came to teach about that particular subject is a guru. I can really testify to that because she broke it down to the barest minimum. And as a matter of fact, she had a particular course on that on Seller, so you can also access it. But first, watch the wisdom class that she took on this particular platform. When you watch it, then you can now proceed to get maybe teaching deeply on that particular subject on budgeting. It's going to help you a lot because it helped me too, right? It's going to help you a lot. All right. So just a quick one, financial discipline. Now, when we've heard about who say I'm very disciplined, yes, you can be disciplined in every area of your life, and it can happen that you are not disciplined financially. So you just have to make it, live a kind of holistic life where you are disciplined in all aspects, every ramifications, right? So when we talk about financial discipline, the key factor there is you being able to delay gratification. We live in a society where our environment, our society has really portrayed a lot of things to us as a norm, which truly are not. They are truly not, because people who truly are wealthy, if you truly want to join the 5% of the wealthy people who controls the remaining 95%, there are a lot of things you are going to, look away from, and just keep your gaze and your focus on your goal and get it, done once and for all. So when we talk about financial discipline, it's simply your art of delaying gratification, your ability to be able to delay gratification, meaning you don't want to jump into, oh, this is it now, and get it right now. You trying to reward yourself quickly. Oh, I did this now. Let me quickly get eat it now kind of system, get it now kind of system. No, it's not really advisable. So better, when you want to stay financially disciplined, you must understand the way of delaying gratification is very, very important. And before I move forward, let me just share a brief of my story with us. In the year 2019, so 2018, I'm actually a copper in the city of Zaria in 2018. So I live in Zaria for about 6 years. So in 2018, I was serving in Zaria, and my income then was just 19,800. Now, Corpus Alawi, 19,008. And the school was paying, I serve in Ahmadu Bello University. So they were paying us, I think, 7,000 naira monthly. Imagine 7,000 plus 19,000. You know what that means. And you are a corper as at 2018. But that was a very big money then, because the economy was still a bit stable to some extent then. So it was a very big money. So now, in the course of that, there are people I saw people around then who were also broke, were earning the same thing. Even some of them even earn more than me, because some of them serve in a firm where their departments, aside from the money the university is giving to copper, their department is also still giving them some token, right? But it's so alarming that at the end of the month, they still come to someone who is earning far less than them, and still come and borrow money. And you are going to ask yourself, what exactly are they doing with their money? What's going on with them? And the real answer to that question is they are not financially disciplined. In the course of earning that much, which looks little, I was still able to save 10,000 every month for my master's program for the whole year. So deduct 10,000 from it. That is, deduct it from the 19,800. You have 9,800. I'll go to campus. My transport and everything daily was about 250 naira. So I'll have that separately. I'm going to do data. So data cost, although it's very much expensive now compared to then. So every of all those things are very, very important to me. Now my income at that level was that 19,800 and 7,000. So if you add it to it, you have about 26,800, right? So in the course of that period, one thing I did was, yes, the money was not really enough, but I tried to, increase my earning capacity. So I started my small scale business. I was bringing Gary from down south to the north, and, sell, do all manner of that, right? And my profit margin on a monthly basis was around 80,000. Yeah, 80,000, around that 80,000. But one thing I observed was along the way, I discovered when there was a shift in income, there was also shift in my expenses. So it was looking like I'm not really getting much more to save. Oh, my saving is still within, let's say, 10 to 15,000, but I still need more. I need more money. And at that level, yes, I was keeping some money and at the same time living well, to say I'm living well, right? So in the year 20, that was 2018 into 2019, and 2019 into 2020, you know, I venture into the crypto space and get money, do business, did everything like that. Come 2020, I have a very surge increase such that when you are earning in, let's say you're earning 80,000 and your income was around 80,000 initially before, and all of a sudden you started earning about seven figures. You started earning in seven figures, and it's so wild, that period. So what came to my mind was, first, I need to buy a car. Then I need to change, you need to upgrade your wardrobe, do some other things now. Very, very important. You have a lot of things that needs to be done. Very, very important. But it was so amazing that, because one of the things I do personally is I have mentors in every area of my life, career wise, spiritually, financially, every area. So my financial mentors, one of them called me and said, because he saw me post something online, and I also informed him about my next step, that, oh, I have this particular thing I want to get this car. And so he saw me posted something online I was putting on, and sent a comment and said, wow, big boy, see me so day. When I saw that message, I knew there was a problem, and I tried to meet up with him. And one thing he said was, where do you see money to buy this? So I explained to him the increase and everything. And I told him the next plan. Wow, he clapped, said, wow, that was a very great one. He now said to me, he said, now that you have a surge in income, do you think this is the next thing? In my mind, I'm like, what is this man trying to say now? I should not enjoy my life, or I should not. He now brought up a formula for me. He said, Lekon, if you truly want to stay long in this particular phase, you must live 10 times below your earning. That sounds very wild to me, that I should live 10 times below my earning, meaning everything, I will still remain at that particular point within the range of that 8,000, or 120. So I'm like, it doesn't sound well to me. At some point I felt offended, but I've learned to listen to people who are ahead, right? So in the course of that, okay, sorry, hope my slide is not showing. Okay, please, if you can see my slide. Yes, I'm still on this particular first slide. I'm just trying to quickly put some things up, right? So in the course of that period, it was so amazing that I couldn't, meet up with something. So some policies came up in the country that affected the whole system, and you may have heard of what happened 2021, some federal government policy and the likes like that, right? They are really. Please, can you see my slide? Let me know if you can see my slide, please. Please, I want to confirm if you can see my slide.
Yes,
All right, you can. All right, thank you.
you can put it in slideshow. So it's
Oh,
focus on one slide.
okay, okay, all right, okay, okay, okay. All right, can you see it clearly now, sir? Sorry for that. So what was happening that period was some policy came up and it affected a lot of people, including myself. And I was so grateful that I yielded to his advice because what he told me then was this thing you want to get, what is your movement like? So I told him my movement. He even gave me that illustration. He said, your movement is just a Bermuda triangle. You move from your house to school to church. So what is the cost of all this in a day? I said 250 naira. I said, if your movement is cost you 250 naira daily, then you don't need a car. Just go and sit down, keep your money and invest it in something else. So that was where that was the period I was able to get my first landed property that particular period. And I kept it there. And maybe with time, I will share with us how some things happened along that period. So that particular year, 2021, things got so bad and I ended up in a very big debt, like millions of naira, not lower than more than 30 million, right? And this is what really caused a very big issue for me because it wasn't really making any sense. I'm not the owner of the money. We did business with people. All of a sudden, policy came out, a lot of things were scattered. But two things I want you to understand was that in the course of this period, we are two people who did the same thing. The same thing happened. I know someone who the same thing happened to him too. He ended up in jail, but I did not. You know why? Because my lifestyle was not the same thing as his lifestyle. And that was as a result of me delaying gratification from the advice I got from a mentor. Because people were saying, no, he used our money to buy this, he used this to, not knowing that, yes, he had that money, he had the capacity to do that. But because I was very quiet and I did not do any of such, we're like, well, it has happened, so just find a way to settle us and the likes of that, right? So that was it for me. That was the story. Because if you don't delay gratification, you will end up in a lot of problem. That was first thing. The next thing there is you must choose a long-term financial stability over short-term pleasure. Long-term financial stability over short-term pleasure, meaning stay consistent with your budget and financial goal. You don't have business buying some things if you truly did not need them. Yes, you truly don't have business buying some things. I share we were having some family meeting sometimes last week on our family group, and our father was asking, what is the biggest financial advice I have? So I shared. So my siblings were raising like, wow, that's weird, that's weird. But I try to explain it to them, and it's simply a Parkinson law. Now, what does the Parkinson law state? The Parkinson law states that your expenses will always increase to match your income anytime, any day, either you like it or not. Your expenses will always rise to match your income. And the only way to curtail this is you being financially disciplined. Meaning, when you have a surge in income, you should be able to keep yourself at that level for some period of time that you are able to, increase very well in your income and build enough capacity such that if anything happen, people won't know. You know the funniest thing, during that period when all those storms were up and issues were up that time, I was in church. Oh, as a matter of fact, a youth pastor in church, nobody knows anything except from my pastor that I told him this is what is on ground. But nobody knows anything. You know why people did not know? Because I've not really lived my lifestyle, have not really matched up with that recent income that was coming in that period. So I just kept everything low key. Imagine buying that time, I bought the car, and few months later, 2 months later, the issue came up. I sold the car. How would you feel? You get what I'm trying to say now. So it's very, very important. So when you don't have control over your financial ability, you won't go far, right? So you must be able to curtail yourself financially. And that's exactly what the Parkinson law states, that your expenses will always increase to match your income. Always. So I now added something to Parkinson law, that your expenses will always match your income, and most times leaves you in a debt ratio, meaning your income is coming in, your expenses is now more than your income, and you still go ahead to borrow to spend. There are people who truly does not have shame o. You borrow, they borrow to eat, borrow to buy clothes, borrow to, no. And this is one thing we should do as a believer. We shouldn't, because the Bible already said that the borrower, the lender, the borrower is always a slave to the lender. So if you are a slave to the lender, the one who lend you money, you will continue to be. So you should be in that level of financial freedom where you determine what is it for you. And the goal of financial freedom is very, very easy. It's very, very simple, which is time and comfort. You have your free time and you have your comfort, right? So those are the key things you should always have in mind as you are trying to delay gratification, because you want to have enough time to be able to do much things that are very, very important and relevant to you, and you want to be very, very comfortable. That's it. You get the point now. So very, very important. So to achieve your financial freedom, you have to resist lifestyle inflation, meaning increase your lifestyle. There are people who, if you want to know for yourself, try and find out what you spent on in the last few weeks. Think about it. There are things that there are some things there that are not really necessary to you. Yes, you won't know they are not necessary to you because to you, you think you can't really do without them. But the question is, when you don't have the money, don't you do without them? You truly did. You don't need them, so you should look away from those things. Very, very important, right? Very, very important. So let me quickly say these things. There are three phrases you need to eliminate from your life dictionary. The first one is, what will people say? And that is one thing that kills a lot of people. Hey, it's only me that will go to this party and I will not wear the anko that they are buying. What will people say now? If you truly want to be financially free, you have to take your ears off what will people say. You are not the first and you are not the last. People will always say something about you. Now let's quickly do a very quick test now. On Sunday in church, do you remember who sat beside you? If you can just type, let me know. If you can, if you know who sat beside you in church on Sunday, type, let me know. If you remember who sat down beside you in church on Sunday and you remember vividly, do you know what the person was putting on? Can you still remember what the person was putting on? Most of us won't know. Why? Because you are not really paying attention to it. That is exactly the way other people are to you. You think you want to impress people. I'm putting on this, I'm putting on that. Even if someone compliments you, wow, I love this, I love that. Yes, that's it. That's the end. But you'll be the one suffering for it. Imagine, I was sharing with someone last week. Someone came to meet me and was asking, please come and do data for me. I'm using an Android phone. You are using iPhone. I don't know the all those three. I don't know the series. Maybe it's 14. Maybe it's so. And it was coming that I should come and do data for you. And I'm like, bro, if you are able to buy this kind of phone, what makes you not to be able to, cater for your data? And you are still asking. It doesn't make any sense, right? So you shouldn't. What will people say should not be part of you at all. You are responsible for your life and you know it, right? So the two thing is, I must let them know, I must show them this arrival mentality. No, you can't show anybody. You are not in competition with anybody. So stay strictly with your life, with your mindset, and get the best of it, right? And the third one is, well, I cannot come and kill myself. So as the money is coming in, salary came in today. The first week of your salary, you are eating, you are using shout deck, you order food, order this, order that. Second week, you started going to Mama Put because the money is already going down. Third week, you started buying corn by the roadside. The fourth week, you started borrowing money to eat because you spent lavishly and you did not have a good saving character, right? So those are the things you must prevent. Let those mindsets move totally out of you. Those are the mindset that promotes spending for validation. So avoid them in every way. Nobody cares. See, if you go broke today, that's when you know nobody cares. Oh. Nobody truly cares. And if you see people running after you, hey baba, hey he has money, did this, okay, the day you go broke, that's when you know nobody truly care about you. So you have to very careful and plan your life very well, right? And this is just a quick advice just to round up a very quick thing. Now leave 3s below your earning. The advice that was given to me was 10s, and it is very difficult at the beginning, but with time I was able to adjust to it. Now let me quickly break this time down for you. Now it is easy to increase your earning capacity and stay at the level you are. But you being at the top and trying to come down is very hard. You know what I'm trying to say now? So imagine you already have a lifestyle of spending averagely 500,000 monthly. Now you want to reduce everything to 200,000 monthly. It will be very hard for you. Instead, if that is the situation and condition you find yourself, the best thing you need to do is invest in yourself and increase your earning potential while you keep your spending constant, right? That is the best thing you can do for yourself. Leave 3s below your earning. That is a very simple one. 3s below your earning. Meaning, if I'm earning 200,000, I should not spend maximum more than 70 on things that I know is just. Now that's why I introduced the topic of budgeting, that you should go and watch the videos. Now when we say 3s below your earning, it doesn't mean that you won't remove your house rent, your this, your that. So those stuff are not really part of it. But what I'm trying to say is, when you are able to cut down very well your earning, you divide them into three, you are only spending that particular part of it, which is just one third of it, while the remaining two third as where they are going to and where you're channeling it to, right? So make sure you are very key about that. And thirdly, build passive income system. I don't know how I can explain this very much to us, but it works. Passive income is simply you trying to make money while you are not really doing anything. I have a system that does that for me. In sense that you are sleeping, but money is being made for you. Your money is still coming in. You are sleeping, oh, but your money is still coming in. So that is one thing you should very build. Now, some of us, it may be affiliate marketing. I do this very well. Affiliate marketing, you introduce someone to a product. When they, patronize that particular product or they buy it, you get a particular percentage for yourself. You are not doing anything, you just introduce people to it. And just one time introduction, every of their recurrent, purchase, you get your own percentage, right? That's one. And two, royalties for those who can write. For example, if you're a writer, you write, you have your book published, and you get your royalties there. Very important, right? And other low risk ventures, which Mrs. Tolani would take some other time, maybe the next wisdom class or anytime we have this kind of session. All right. So those are the quick financial advice. Now, take note, these are not absolute. So these are not like what you should do, but they are just,
Right, sir. So like, please
sir.
give your slide is showing what is financial discipline.
Oh my goodness. I've
Yes.
really, oh, so sorry about that. That is the, oh, so sorry, please. So sorry about that. I never knew it wasn't moving.
Yes, we are on slide 5. Thank you.
Yes, so sorry, please. So these are the key things you have. You leave 3 years below your earning, meaning you spend less than you earn, right? Invest in yourself by increasing your earning potential. And when you increase your earning potential, make sure for a period of time, still stay consistent with your spending habit before you now change lifestyle and move forward, right? So, what is my final thought? My final thought is financial discipline isn't about restriction but freedom. That is exactly the same way I felt that period. Like, this man is just, stressing me too much, is giving me problem. But I was really happy because later on I got to see the benefit of what he has really done for me. Okay, I got to see the benefit of what he has really done for me. So that is very, very important. And control your money, or else it will control you. Because someone we're having conversation some days back, and someone said he spends about 35,000 on skincare. Imagine someone earning 150,000 and you are spending 35K on skincare. I'm like, it does not tally, it does not correlate. Your body looks fresh. Why? Is showing your action itself is telling us that your brain and your future looks very rotten, even though your body may be looking fresh, right? So it's very, very important we know if you truly want to have a very good skincare, you should earn more, have good earning. But if you don't have the financial capacity, eat good food, drink more water, do exercise, your skin will look very fresh and glowing, right? So it's very, very important you do that, right? So I'm going to be, stopping here so that I can receive more questions if there's any, and maybe that would bring much more conversation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Can we celebrate our speaker? Can we clap and show our appreciation for what he has, the knowledge he has shared tonight in this short time? That is very, very intentional. Can I see your chats? Can I see your messages? Can I get your feedback? Now let's have the questions rolling. If you have a question, you can raise your hand or you can type it. I'm waiting to see your questions. Waiting to see your questions. Okay. I think I'm having some technical glitch. Okay. Mr. Lekon is still sharing, I think.
No, I've stopped sharing, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have questions. We have questions. We have questions. We have questions. I see people are still saying thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Do we have questions for? Okay, Yano, I see your hand is raised. I'm going to unmute you now so you can ask your question. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, Veronica. Thank you so much for the powerful teaching. This is my question. You spoke about the Parkinson law that as your income increase, your expenses will also increase. And regarding the living below your income, 3 heads, like spending 1/3 of your income while investing in the 2/3. This is my question now. Looking at it mathematically, if your income increase, that means your 3 percent, your 3 or 1/3 also increase. Do you understand? And you once said it that even if your income is increasing, it is advisable that you still maintain your uh your
Uh,
spending, like
yeah.
the previous thing that you have before. Now, like, how are we going to balance that? Is it like as your income is increasing, and we already have a law that surely the expenses will also increase? So how are we going to balance that? That's my question. And my second question is, because I know that we spoke about budgeting in wisdom class. We learned about budgeting, and just just for clarification, in that 3 heads, like the 1/3 that you are spending, can you just give us maybe a summary of the things that need to be categorized under that? Do you understand me, sir? Thank you.
Yes. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. So let me start from the first question. How do you balance increase in income when with your expenses? The first thing you need to know is that whenever your income increases, this is more of a psychological thing for people. Things you don't have capacity to do before, they begin to get your attention. Like, for example, now, imagine you are earning 30,000 naira. I don't think it will ever cross your mind one day to say you want to go to KFC chicken and go and eat. You know why? Because your income alone is is not really giving that, is not giving you the ability to take that kind of step, right? But when you start, immediately your income jumps. Let's say you do 5S and you are now earning 150,000. The first thing that comes to your mind is, for more than 2 years now, I've just been hearing KFC chicken from my ears. Now that I now get 150,000 naira monthly, I think it's right time for me to go there. That's when you know you want to go there, make content, snap, post online, all those kind of things, right? But what you need to know is the fact that the day you allow that thought dominate you and you succumb to it, this month you've gone to KFC chicken, it now becomes your lifestyle. So every month as salary comes in, you are always going because you already gave it that ability. And at the end of the month, you will discover even that your 150,000 is not enough for you again. And that's one of the attributes that comes with money. Your 150K is not enough for you again. But the question is, when you were receiving 30,000, there was a way you were living. Oh, instead of you to just adjust briefly to the reality, you now adjust to the income, right? So that is one thing. Now, the second one is about the budgeting you talked about. For example, now, if you are earning 150,000, there are a lot of tables one should not shake here. Okay, for example, now if you are earning 150,000 as your income, you have your bills that you need to pay, your electricity, your subscription, all manner of utilities that you have, you need to pay them. Your house rent and the likes like that, you need to deduct it from it, right? Also, you have your expenses, food stuff, you know, your gas and the likes like that. Transport to work has to come out there. And at the same time, you need to put percentage to your retirement because most people, that's one thing that is very, very common in this part of the world. We think about work every time. If we take a sample around us now, that when do you plan to retire, to stop working? Now, when I mean stop working, I mean actively, like you are going to office, you want to. I have my own deadline. I know within my heart, this particular year, I'm not all this time that I use, I will sit down with system for like 12 hours as stretch and the likes like that. No, it won't work for me again. That particular time. All I want to do is travel with my family, do the work of God, serve God, and that's it. You get the point now. So it's very, very important you make savings for your retirement plan. You make savings for projects. You also invest too and make your money work for you. So what you do in that kind of situation is your 3S is this. As the money is now, as you are now earning 150K, the same formula you are using for bills, for expenses, and also for savings and investment will still be the same formula you use when your income increase from 150 to let's say 450,000. Just that this time around, you are not changing anything in regards to expenses. And at the same time, you are not really changing anything in regards to your bills. But everything about your savings would change. Meaning, I'm increasing my retirement plan, I'm increasing my project budget, and at the same time, I'm increasing my emergency savings. Do you get my point now? Because there are many people don't have anything called emergency savings, so which we really need to work on. Very, very important. Am I able to answer your question, ma'am?
Thank you very much, sir. Also wanted to add to what you said that
Yes, sir.
we would always believe that our expenses increase because of our income increase because of a mindset. Now, your subconscious will tell you you cannot afford a perfume of 150,000 because your salary is say 250. You've told yourself, your subconsciously, you already know I earn 250. If I spend 150,000, it means I have 100,000. And I've spent at least 40 or 50,000 on transport, meaning I have just 60,000 left. And 60,000 where I have to eat, I have to, buy other things. I have to give to my parents there, offering, tithes, also take myself out maybe once in a while. And that definitely cannot do the trick. But the moment your salary increases to say 550,000, your subconscious will tell you, I can afford 150. Why? Because you tell yourself, oh, 60K is transport. I'm not left with 40,000 naira again. Now I have 400,000 naira. And that's now I have 300,000 naira left. From 400,000 naira left from 550 because the perfume is 150. So if I use 60K for transport, I can use the money for other things. Then you will begin to forget the essential things that you really need and start going for your wants. Because one difference between need and want is want comes like lost. Imagine, just look at lost and love. It's the same thing with needs and wants. Your need will be made available to you when you do not have enough resources. That's when you know what you really need. But the moment resources comes, your want will cloud your judgment like lost, and for the moment, it will tell you, this is what I want, this is what you need. Want to disguise itself as need. So you start telling yourself, I need to be using Uber. before you used to spend an average of 1,000 naira to work, but money increases. You say I need to resume back. I need to start ordering. Before you go to cafeteria, you buy food of 2,500 or 3K in a month, in a week, or maybe in a day, which is reasonable. The moment your salary increases, you tell yourself, I need to be ordering, I need to do that. Time is not on side, but I'm going to tell you this. If you spend time to reorientate yourself about financial intelligence, you will notice that your life will begin to adjust. And just like our speaker said, do not be in the cage of trying to look to people who have poor minds. I will say that again. Do not be in the cage of trying to look rich in the minds, of trying to look rich to people who have poor minds. Someone who has poor mind is someone who evaluates you based on your appearance, based on your assets. If you study people who are financially prudent, who are financially stable, and who you term rich, you will notice that not many of them live lavish lifestyle. Now, I'm talking of people who have maintained resources and wealth and finance for a long period of time. Someone that has maintained wealth consistently for 30, 40, 50 years. So, I mean, someone who is 50 and above. If you see anybody who is 50 and above and has maintained that wealth for a period of 20, 30, 40 years, you notice they are not lavish spenders. Yes, they may have their cravings, a special cravings. You see one of them, or some of them will like, I just love cars. They may not spend on parties, spend on this, but they've gotten to a place of comfort where they can now buy. Many of you do not know that you have some cravings. And some of you, your craving might be wasteful, some of you might be petty because you don't want, you cannot do it. That's why you're a bit humble. But I tell you this, if you are financially disciplined, financial discipline is not an answer for the now, it's an answer for the future. Because the time will come when the ones who you were working with, when your colleagues will look at you and tell you live a better life than we do. The answer is actually I started living a better life way before now. You didn't just see. Time is no longer on our side. I know many of you have questions. You can do well to, if you're on the Wisdom Class group chat, you can drop your questions there and we would answer the questions for you. On this note, you can also write your questions down and next week we're going to look at it because we'll be looking at understanding your financial appetites, risk appetite, and also investments. We talk about making money, managing money, multiplying money, and he has spoken about managing. He has also spoken a bit about multiplying. And then our speaker next week will take a cue from there. She will talk on the management part and then the multiplying part, which is investment. Like he said, passive income is your money working for you because money is a tool. And money as a tool can do many things. But the problem is you only see it from one area. And if you see it from one area and you don't see the other areas, you keep pursuing money, and money will become a god that you worship. And you see people who are making it as people who are better than you, not knowing that they just understand principles and they follow it. On this note, I would like to say thank you to our speaker, Mr. Nipon, for such. Please say she has a question. And some of you, I splurged on perfumes. Okay, you have a question. What the group chat where you got this thing, just drop a question there, and we would answer it. Okay, you don't know how to invest or start up. Okay, so what I will do is I will take the link to the last video on budgeting and investment. You can watch that while you have your questions ready for next week. That video is very detailed and self-explanatory, and I'm sure that some of your questions will be answered. So she said how to start emergency fund. Let me just give you a quick solution. Everybody, sit down. This October, your salary for October is not coming. You're going to start now. October, November, December. If you earn 200,000 or you earn 300,000 or you earn 50,000, or you earn 30,000, whatever it is, do the flat rate of 30%, take out that money and put and lock it up. You can lock it up with PiggyVest, you can lock it up with Fair Money, you can lock it up with CarryWise, you can lock it up with Optimus, you can lock it up with Invest Nigeria, you can lock it up with HFM, you can also lock it up with Bamboo. These are various investment platforms that you can use. Personally, I would say you should lock it up with Fair Money because Fair Money has a very good interest rate. Financial experts will always say that it's best to save money and put money in a instrument that the interest rate is higher than inflation. In Nigeria is a popular case. So I advise that you do Fair Money, or you can use any of your apps. So take 30%. When they pay your October money, October salary, take 30%, lock it. November, lock it. December, lock it. After you pay your tithe, do that almost immediately. I'm sure some of you be afraid and say, how will I survive? Blah blah blah. You will be surprised. The moment your subconscious knows that money has left from your tithe or offering, then you lock savings, and you know that you will not spend frivolently again. So that's quick action on emergency fund. Take 30% of your basic salary. If you're earning 50,000, 30% of 50,000 would be 30%. Yes, 30% of 50,000. So take 15,000, lock it. Emergency fund is a 6 month salary saved up in a place where you will not access it. Yeah, I know of people, I know somebody who told me early this year, he resigned from his job. And he said he wants to take a study leave. And I asked him how long he leave. He said about a year. And I just smiled. You know why I smiled? Because I knew that guy had saved enough to cater for his needs in a year. And this does not mean he will not be doing some side gigs or whatever. But he resigned from a 9 to 5. He said he wants to take a study leave so that he can improve himself. Now, this is a result of plan work. Nobody is extra special. They just have knowledge and they put it to work. So if there's one thing you take from tonight, the October salary, if you have CarryWise, if you have PiggyVest, if you have Bamboo, if you have Fair Money, if you have iInvest, if you have HFM, if you have Invest Nigeria, any of these applications, the process is very simple. Go on there, sign up, and lock that money. Just you can link it to your bank account or your debit card and just put an instruction on these dates. Say a day after your salary, depending on when you work, maybe the delay or whatever. Debit this money. The moment you debit it, you put it in lock. Put that lock for 6 months, 180 days. Don't do 3 months. Do 6 months, 180 days. Then you can start every month. You start putting there. You'll be surprised at how much you grow. The 3 months left in this year. It's not too late to start. Trust me. And then from next week, after you do this, you can start learning about stocks, how you can invest in stocks, buy ETFs, treasury bills, government bonds, and all of that. Thank you very much for joining. I believe strongly that you're blessed by tonight's session and you have more wisdom as relates to your finance. More to come next week, Monday. Thank you very much. Good night.